Wow. I guess I really screwed up bad today. All right, we're gonna start this over again. I guess I had my phone horizontal, and instead the video was coming out horizontal. I mean, it wasn't. It was like it was just weird. So I'm gonna keep it vertical like this. So I got rid of that previous stream. Sorry about that. Um, God, man, it's like I'm still adapting and learning to all this stuff. But anyway, I had already started working on Juris here, and let me just give you a quick update, well, a recap. This is a blank Ultraman comic, and let's see, cover inside is Alex Ross and stuff, and so what I did is I sat down and I was thinking about things to draw, and I said, you know what, I'd done some work over the summer on a Ultraman sketch card set by R.R. Park Cards. It has not been released yet. The card set has not been released yet, but still, it was Ultraman. And so when I learned that Marvel was doing an Ultraman comic, I said, man, I hope they have some blank variants, and they did. And so, booyah, here we are. So once again, I just want to say I got rid of the previous live stream just because you can't view it. It was it was horizontal the whole time, and that's not good. So we're just gonna go with the vertical right here. Nice, simple. I want to thank everyone who had come here to check it out and stuff. Got some music going already. Let me see. I'm gonna share this with some groups and stuff and get that out the way. So people can check it out. You know, I'm still learning about all this stuff, and so just bear with me, and hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Let's see, comics. Let's see. So let's see. Okay, and Monsterverse. Share. All right. And let's see, share some more. I'm just getting this stuff right now, just sharing it. So, all right, I'm stoked. I'm learning. You know, it's crazy, man. Trying to just learning about all this technology and stuff like that. But hey, you got to keep going at it. Don't give up. So anyway, I know that there's a lot of people out there that have been wanting to see me do some art and stuff, and so here we go. This is a continuation of what I did for the Shogun Warrior and the what's it, Shogun Warrior and Humanoids piece that I did for the it was a Kaju Con that came out. So anyway, got that. All right. All right, let's do this. Let's do this right now so everybody can see. Let me know too. I've been, I got my computer open over here, just looking for comments and stuff like that. I really appreciate that you're here, and much love. So let's try this again. All right, right on. We're gonna bang this out. So let me get some good light on this. Hope you guys can see it really good, and make a drawing. That's what you guys came here for, to see some drawings, see some art. All right. All right. So anyway, previously, as I was talking before, when I went to the Butera School of Art, and had some great teachers there and stuff. Very eclectic. I got a smidgen of professional trend, being a commercial illustrator, but then also that smidgen of just, as an artist, not to really get too serious, bogged down with some of that stuff too, where it almost what is the word, incapacitates you, so you can't even function, and you're starting to dwell too much on the art, and and nothing gets done. I reached that stage in my career where I working in advertising, that you just got to go with the flow, man, and get the job done. So anyway, let's see. I had a great time working on the Ultraman set. I was really, when I learned about it over the summer and stuff, for that set. Oh my, you don't even know. Because it's been a while. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people from sketch cards really remember me much. You know, there was, when I got in, it was like 2009, and I was invited into it, and then I worked on. I think I was into it. God, I have a crappy memory, but I want to feel like it was like maybe 2013. So maybe there was a 3-year span that I was really in there, and I mean, I was doing some crazy card sets, working on some Marvel properties and stuff like that. But the ones that I'll say that really keyed into what I loved was the Transformers set, Voltron. I got a chance to work on a Voltron sketch card set, King Kong set that I worked on. I was very, very proud about that one. And then, and then in between, I did work on a Dinosaur Galaxy one from Monster Wax. That was pretty fun. Mind you, I mean, I worked on the Marvel stuff. I mean, I draw, as a commercial illustrator, where it was sort of, given that the sort of creed that you can pretty much draw anything that's laid before you, as long as you got reference and whatever, and you're confident in your skill, you should be able to draw anything. That's what an illustrator should be capable of doing, regardless. You draw it in your style, but you should be able to do it. But to say that you're really super passionate about something, that's something. Certain people are passionate about certain things. I knew people who were passionate about drawing cars, man, vehicles. I mean, they so good. Some people passionate about drawing houses. I knew an illustrator who he got out of the business and then he just ended up just doing like houses and stuff, man. Drawing, like painting, like, doing house paintings and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's whatever your flavor. So for me, and I've said on various podcasts and stuff that I'm a huge fan of. I would first say more high. Well, it's always a toss up. But let me just say that the first stuff I remembered was Creature Double Feature and then Godzilla. Godzilla, the 54, was that 54 that came out? That one. Godzilla pretty much was the start, but I would say really like giant robots, super robots were really what really brought it home for me. But I still I love the kajus and stuff like that. But something about these giant machines, and the machines had personalities and stuff like that were very human-like and stuff like in battles and clandestine organizations or evil alien overlords and things like that. That stuff really appealed to me because it also tied into like comic books in a certain degree, in which I was into comic books too. I mean, I was definitely and still are an avid fan of the Fantastic Four and the Chris Claremont run on X-Men and John Byrne. His stuff. Herb Trimpe, when Herb Trimpe did the work, like people know him from Wolverine and doing the Hulk, but for me it was the Shogun Warriors, that famous cover that he did. Oh man, that changed my life because it was like a validation that actually someone got paid to actually draw something that I loved. I was on a podcast. I had like 2 podcasts this month, and I was talking to somebody about that and about my passion and love for this stuff, and about the fact that also it's kind of sad because you also get this sense in the community that a lot of fans don't know that there are a lot of us, artists that are out there that are doing this stuff, that are doing kajus. Now, mind you, many of us aren't, doing a lot of like just say Godzilla or known kajus and things like that. But we're still doing it. When you're adding your part to this very fast, this vast genre. So it is part of it. So we're out here, man, And it's and on the flip side of that, as artists or creatives, you really have to push out there. You got to push. You got to really try to connect with different people. I'm a big fan, as someone who's worked in advertising, especially if I'm assuming many people don't have like the millions and millions of dollars even thousands of dollars to pay for, a advertising agency or whatever to do the work for you. Cross promotion, you know, it's essential for survival. You know, go out there, talk to people. Say, hey, look, man, I see you doing this stuff and whatever. You do this, cool. Let's talk, or let's, would you mind, let's do a cover or whatever. Let's do, kick. If I'm doing a Kickstarter, hey, would you mind? We can do, work out some kind of deal or whatever to, get your work on my thing, and you talk about my stuff and I'll talk about your stuff, and then there has to be more of that, because I think that again the key thing in all this is that it's about getting awareness out there to the fandom, ensuring that we get more people into this, that we don't lose it. That'd be a sad day if people weren't talking about this kind of stuff. Personally. All right. I'm just going with the flow with this, man. And again, I just want to thank you guys again for my little, I'm glad I caught it early enough. It's just, man, I didn't even know that I was drawing horizontal. That's not good. No, that's not good at all. So, another thing too, I just want to let you guys know is that I got my laptop. I'm looking over, but there's like almost a delay that I'm seeing to the video delay and stuff. So I don't know, comments that pop in and whatever. I'll try to check them out. I'll take a little break and then check them out later. All right, so for this, I shouldn't have had that open, but that's okay. I ain't gonna freak out about it. So previously, when I first started this, the first video, what I was doing was explaining how I came to the point of doing this. I'm always thinking of different ideas and stuff in my art and trying to challenge myself. So I'm not a connoisseur of Ultraman, so I don't try to front to be, but I have watched some episodes, and I have watched the anime that came out. There was one that came out in the 80s. I think I have it somewhere on a disc. And then there was another one that was really cool. They had like the Ultraman family and stuff. That was really good. The animation was on point. I enjoyed it. But and so pretty much I was like, man, what kind of martial arts does Ultraman do? And they said the original actor pretty much did judo. So I went in and started looking around, and I was like, okay, let me see which one that I might be able to actually do. And I found the a body drop throw. And I said, okay, that seems like a pretty cool one to do. And so then I said, what monster that I want to do? And I strategically chose Jiris, just because it's a rip of Godzilla. That's okay, but he has his fan on his neck and stuff that comes out. But he's really recognizable and stuff. And plus, like I said, I'm a kid who loves the Showa era. So if I can draw Godzilla, like the Showa era today. And I'm also a huge fan of the new Godzilla too. I gotta admit, I love the design. The design is really, I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I really think they did a fantastic job with it. And kudos to them for keeping the franchise going. It just makes me happy, really happy. And the same thing, let me throw a shout out for Shin Godzilla. I personally was not a huge fan of it, but I'm glad it got done, and that's how I feel, about just overall, that regardless of what, even if something I don't agree with it or whatever, I still, as somebody who has worked behind the scenes in film and animation and stuff like that, every time I look at stuff like that, I get a smile, because I'm like, a bunch of artists just got some work done, They got paid. They got paid to do some work, and they did the best they could to make something happen. And in some degree, they helped the brand keep going. Now, I know the studio has this agenda and stuff, and they want to keep it going, to make some money and stuff like that. But when I look at it, I look at the artists, the people that are actually in the trenches, making these things, enjoyable and whatever for the consumer to look at and stuff. And you never know. That's the whole point with art. Art is um, subjective, I suppose. Everyone has their own views. That's cool. I'm so I just turned 50. August 31st, and it's funny how like my views on things are slowly, sort of shaping where I don't a lot of things don't really get me going like they used to. I would get all heated up over silly stuff. Now I just go, oh, whatever. I just did it, drew it, it's done. On to the next thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love drawing that. When I'm drawing, I don't know, like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do it super detailed. And all of a sudden I start doing this crap and it's like, Frank, why are you doing this? Oh, I also want to add that I'm going to be doing which I totally forgot about. And I'm so glad that he contacted me because my freaking memory's crappy. But I guess I have a YouTube interview with Lucifer Storm tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll, knowing me, I'm gonna be posting, so no worries on that. And hopefully, folks can come on by and check it out and stuff, and we can talk kaiju's, giant monsters, and just art in general. Yeah, I'm definitely. I will be honest. I'm an old school kind of artist, and my first thought is on ensuring that the art gets done. So my suggestion to people who, if you're an artist and you have a product and you're trying to do, and you're doing interviews and things like that, pace yourself. I would say pace yourself, because the key thing is that people are paying into, especially if you're doing comic books or books or whatever, you want to be able to have that sufficient time to be able to work on your product. You want your product to be solid. You don't want to be like exhausted. I know for myself that I reached that stage in my career where, I value sleep. I value my health. I value, being able to produce solid work, but not to the point where I can't have a sleepless night. I went through all that stuff when I was much in my late 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, into my 30s, even into my 40s. And it wore on me, and it eventually caught up to me, and I had to start making some changes in my life, in which I had to start really putting my health first. So I would say, think about those kind of things too. You want to still be around for your loved ones and stuff like that, but also, doing your artwork as well. So there has to be a middle ground. So just think about that too. Be conscious. All right. Hope everything's looking good. Yeah, he's feeling pretty good. I think it's time I jumped on Ultraman over here. I gotta show him some love. He's like, yo, dude. I don't think I'm gonna put his eyes in. I did another one too where I wanted to put in, well, what's the Jiris quote, air quotes. I wanted to put in the eyes, but I just think it looks much more better when he doesn't have eyes. Much more evil looking, you know what I mean? So let's see what we got here. Boom, bada boom, bada boom, boom, boom. Hope you like the jams. They're all royalty free, so I don't get in no trouble or anything. I love listening to jams while I'm doing my art. And it's funny too, which is this whole thing of me coming on and doing these live things is new, but my muse, Jess, she's always like, yeah, sometimes I can hear you just talking when you're working on your work and stuff and whatever, and finally I was like, oh, 1 + 1 is 4. She's like, why don't you, instead of you just talking to yourself in there, get a camera going and and talk while you're drawing. I said, man, that's why I married this woman. She gets it. She knows it. She knows what I got to do. And I know I'm not the only one out there talking to yourself. It's okay. Just don't answer yourself. That's what I remember once somebody once told me, doctor. It's all cool and dandy, but don't be like talking, answering yourself, and then that's when it goes downhill. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, so now we're gonna do Ultraman. I don't know if any of you guys have been checking out the Marvel series, the Ultraman Marvel series. Now again, I just want to show you I got some reference. I'm going with the old school one because that's how I like to roll. It's different variations of them, but that's who I'm going with for this. His fin, man, his fin is just took me a while, you know. I became more comfortable when I was working on the card set for RR Parks. And again, keep your eyes open. I'm really, you know, at this point, I thought the set would be out by the summer, but you know, maybe by, you know, maybe sometime next year. But I'm just, the overall good thing is that we're seeing so much Ultraman stuff starting to come out, and that's amazing. You know, that's a huge win for the base. Huge win. You got these old guys, especially here in the West. I think that's the most important thing. Right? I love using the 3. It's so small. And the thing is that when I worked on sketch cards, it was funny because during that time too, I was doing a lot of ad work too, and it just sort of worked hand in hand. Where I found that when I was doing storyboards and stuff, drawing at such a small size really, excuse me, really helped my skills and stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, sketch cards was fun. I gotta admit, especially when I got on projects that were really like geared. Like again, when I worked on that Transformer one, oh my god, that was insane. Because the thing about it, I don't think people really understood was that, you know, I wasn't just working on that. I was working on other gigs too. Like I had like that sketch card thing, working on that, but then also like, you know, doing, you know, ad work and stuff. You know, so it's like it's so weird. Like at one point, I'm drawing Transformers, and then next thing I'm doing General Motor trucks and stuff, or Wendy's burgers, or Dunkin' Donuts, or whatever, you know. So it was like I immediately had to do a lot of shifting. I think also during that time, I think that was later on where I got hooked up to Colossal Kaiju Combat, and again I was, you know, I guess that's the work of a commercial illustrator, is that you have to learn how to find a balance in your time, you know, to do all these various multiple projects. So time is very important to me. Even on projects I work on today, I'm very strict on how I handle the time on it. You know, when I talk to a client, I'm like, boom, 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 give me a deadline, give me a date, that kind of thing. You know, just to make sure that things can get taken care of, and that, you know, I'm not at a place where, you know, I'm driving myself crazy and that kind of thing, and affecting my health. Because I've done that stuff before. All right, what's going on with you? We're gonna shift you up and see if we got a new one. All right, we'll try one. Yeah, this one looks pretty new. I guess the problem with me is that I tend to I'm a pack rat when it comes to tools and stuff. Let's blow that off. All right, let me look. See, it always throws me with his costume. He has this thing right here. You know, even like looking at some of the work that's done, and again, I have to admit, I really love the art that they're doing. The artists for the Rise of Ultraman series by Marvel, really, they did really good. This individual's great style, really nice. they're doing a tremendous job. Well, actually, and then also some of the background, the backstory stuff, like when they go back in time, I think they got a different artist, and it's so well done. Like they really approached it really well. Kudos to Marvel on that one. Like they didn't try to like skimp on it. They got great covers for it and everything. I'm still like anybody from Marvel, please. I hope you eventually, do Red Ronin, and someone please pass my number to them. God, that'd be a dream. That would be a dream for me to work on Red Ronin. That'd be a dream, because I knew Herb Trimpe briefly, got to speak to him, got to relate to him, how much of his, how his work affected me and stuff like that, and before he passed away, and so, in the back of my mind, it's all I would be thinking of is this, how good I can make this, and be true to my voice, but also, in a respectful way to what Herb did. Mm. All right, you guys are still out there. I really appreciate that you're here, and that you're. This is the second video that I did today because I screwed up on the first one, and I just wasn't happy. It was horizontal, and that just wasn't good. I want you guys to be able to see it. Now that I think about it, I could have probably did it in editing, but come on, man. If you're watching it now, I don't want you to be trying to turn your screen and all this stuff. What if somebody's looking on a laptop? We're going to grab the laptop and be like, hey, I'm going to hold it and turn it and all that nonsense. No. Hey, that don't work for me, man. So anyway, thank you so much for coming and watching me do this draw stream. I'm going to take a moment, refresh my page, laptop, see if you guys are talking, anybody talking out there. Let's see. All right, took a little break. Let's see what we got here. Coffee's good. All right, let's do this. Oh man, whew. I saw that they released the new trailer for Godzilla Singular, and I gotta admit, I got pumped. I got excited. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, it goes right back to the thing when because some people ask me, and they'll be like, well, what do you think about this? And I'll be honest, I'm the worst person to ask those kind of questions to, because I'm a person who grew up in the, I was born in 1970, so I grew up in the 70s and then, the 80s and stuff. I remember when most of the stuff that we're seeing now was just a fairy tale to me and my friends. We would sit there and we had fairy tales, thoughts of how things would look in cinema. And so when I see it now that they're doing all these amazing properties and IPs, stuff that I remember reading as a kid, the answer that you're going to get from me is that I'm just happy. I'm happy that I get the chance to experience this moment that as a kid I never could have imagined. And I think that many people, who are of my age group and stuff, are similar in that thought. Yeah, sure, you may get some people who may have saw it a different way or whatever, but I think most likely, I think one of the things about it is that it's just the fact that they did it. I'm at that place in my life where I'm like, man, they're actually doing it. It's like I'd rather they do it than not do it. And I'll tell anyone that. It's like, you have a choice, because Hollywood is a very fickle animal, man. It's like one of those things where one minute something can seem so hot, And then all it takes is just a bomb here and there, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna kill this whole, series of films, and we don't want to do any. That's how fickle the beast is. The animal is. So the fact that we're seeing so many giant monster movies, we're seeing the terminology of kajus being like readily used in, especially in Western, you know, society. Is just, man, I'm just tickled pink, man. It's something that I didn't foresee. I was like, oh yeah, when we got the first Godzilla movie, Zilla, I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I remember that. That's actually one of those rare movies that I actually went to. It was like a midnight show, and I was just so like, you have that high. I was on a high. I remember watching it, and this first off, let me see how his feet is. All right, I'll be honest with you. Reference is never too good unless you have books. And yeah, I'm not that rich where I can have every book about every Ultraman character. I wish I had like a massive library I can just pull down. Honestly, well, I know I'm sorry, I'm getting all scattered. Uh, Sometimes I think out loud to myself, but I'm always thinking like one of the things that kills me is that there's reference online, but it's never like the really good reference. I'm so used to like when you work at an animation studio, even production company, and like you go, man, I need reference, and like you end up getting like turnarounds and stuff like that where you can see character size and without color, without any like extra doohides or whatever. It's just everything's just raw, like line art, so you can really see how the character looks. I love that stuff. That should be like mandatory. Like I'll tell anybody out there, when you're creating a character, don't just focus on the cool action shot. You should actually, if you're gonna hire somebody to do a character design for you, I would strongly suggest that you pay the money to get like a turnaround. And I mean, and I wouldn't even color. I wouldn't even put color. I wouldn't worry about the color just yet. I would be like, beautiful line art, so that you can really see everything that the character has on. Sometimes I've seen stuff where people post character designs and it's like massive color, or they'll have these elaborate backgrounds and muddy dark and everything, and I can't tell how the character looks. I'm like, I can't tell if the character's wearing a weapon or nothing. There's no information, so that just in case if this person decided to get another artist to come along and the artist had to sort of work from that, what are they going to work from? Now they got to do a guessing game. I've noticed that. Like, I'm a huge like fan of the Marvel Universe. When the Marvel Universe first came out, I was like, oh man, finally a book that broke down the powers and had these nice static shots of the characters and stuff, which was really, really great, that you can finally see how they look. That stuff, that stuff's important to me. Like when I look at that stuff, because that's what I had to do when I had to work from various things. It's like I would work from character sheets, and the character sheets were just like line art laid out, and you get to draw. You get to work from those character sheets, so I would know if the character had a gun holster or whatever. I don't want to have to guess that. So that's just something, a little tidbit out there for those would-be creators. You should save your pennies and hire somebody. If they're gonna do a character drawing for you, really consider doing at least front and back. Side view is nice, but it's not it's not really mandatory. You don't have to really do side view if you don't want to, but it is nice. Actually, the reason why I would say it's nice to do a side view is just because down the line, first off, it's great to have. I'm always a person that's better have more than less. But also just say, hypothetically, if you ever wanted to get a sculpt of it, a lot of people, although I'm a traditionalist, and I do love like hand sculpting, people can do a lot of stuff with ZBrush and stuff like that. So say if you said, okay, you know what, we're going to do a crowdfunder, and we want to get action figures or whatever. Well, guess what? You've already got these images that you have. And at least if you're going to do color, again, static art. Static art is this pretty much just draw the character itself, no background, so that it can be easily pulled and picked up, and say in Photoshop or something like that, and put into a layer so it can be added on to something, so that somebody can work off of that and they can be able to see it and just clean and stuff like that. Keep your lines nice and clean. That's the kind of stuff that's very important. Just seeing a character in an action pose, that doesn't really tell too much information. It doesn't tell like how the character looks if the character just standing still. You know, so yeah, that would be one thing I would strongly suggest. All right. Hope everybody's doing good. No, it's crazy, huh? Halloween, man. Last night me and Jess, we started watching, planning our Halloween movies, and what do we watch? Oh, we watched Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay, my favorite. We both read the books too, the Bram Stoker books. And then after that, we went old school and then watched the original Halloween. And then after that, I don't know why I got an itch. After seeing Halloween, I immediately got like the itch for Friday 13th. And I honestly, it's like as a kid, the movies that I watched as a kid, oh my goodness. I remember, I feel like I saw Halloween in the movies, And at that time, it came out in 78. So I think that I was 8 years old. And I saw a lot of stuff. I mean, whew. I grew up in Boston, so there was there was a movie theater in the red light district, and I remember groups of us kids, man, we were going, oh my god. They had a lot of martial arts movies like Shaw Brothers stuff, but boy, man, we saw other stuff, and not adult, not like the adult stuff, of course, but boy, I remember seeing like Cannibal Holocaust, and there was another cannibal movie that was so vile, and I remember seeing it as a kid, and I was like, whoa, had nightmares, of course, had nightmares. But yeah, I saw a lot of different things. So I feel like I might have seen like Halloween, and then I'm not sure. I do remember seeing Evil Dead. I do remember seeing Evil Dead. Um, oh, let me see. Let me start looking at my reference. Ultraman has this. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, he's got that. Okay. All right. So yeah, it looks like it goes over his knee. It's so tricky. So I just have to go with the flow and try to hope. But that's that thing too, where you can't beat yourself up about it. You just got to make it the best you can and move on. I don't drive myself crazy over stuff. I just go, well, okay, I'll do better next time. I had a therapist years ago who got me into that way of thinking, really helped me out. Just going through a little patch. All right. I really hope. And first off, once more, thank you for coming. And checking out this draw stream right here. I had such a great time doing the one with the Transformers. So I sat back and I said, well, what do I want to draw? And then I said, well, I got these blanks. So try to do that. And of course, I can't do anything simple. I had to try to do a sequence, because that's how Frankie B rolls. Oh man. All right, let's see what we got here. Hope you guys are enjoying the chill back music. Music's everything, man. It is. It's like, as an artist, it just. I just couldn't imagine sitting there drawing without the music, which I have too. Although sometimes, yeah, when I worked at some agencies, I would have my headphones on and stuff. Yeah. And that kind of helped a little bit, just to sort of think. But then you also, you had to make sure you were available for, if an art director came by and they yelling at you or whatever. I need that work done. Yeah, just like that. All right. All right. All right, I'm gonna do use the Tombow right here. That's a fun little one. And again, just to give you that nice little kind of, it has that almost dry effect, And that's one of the things about it. if you're inking and stuff like that, don't be afraid to just, play around with different things. And, I tend to keep my brush even when they're dry, because you can get some really interesting effects and gradations stuff. It's making me happy that I'm seeing a lot of people doing a lot of cross hatching. Old school techniques are starting to come back, that are really nice. A lot of hand drawing. And again, this is not me throwing shade on digital, but there is something to be said about the organic feel of stuff like this. This is a human hand that's kind of guiding this, and it's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. That's it's honestly, when I think about, if people, when they buy artwork, they want to buy a story. They're not just buying the art. They are, but in some degree, they're also buying the story. The artist is an extension of that artist. Like as you're sitting right now, if somebody wanted to purchase this piece, they'll be like, oh yeah, he did it on a live stream. He's drawing, he's ranting, mindless stuff. Maybe I'll even do a coffee spill on it to make it special. Oh, dude, I love that. As a collector of original artwork, I love that stuff, man. Coffee spills. Be like, man, this dude was up late. He or she was just, it was a late night, man. All right, so now we stopped another one. So now what happens is, remember that as I'm getting closer, the thickness of the line is going to start enhancing. Jose, I just looked up real quick. Jose, this is actually Jiras. His name is spelled Jirass, but it's also spelled Jirah. And he's an Ultraman foe. He's sort of like a knockoff of Godzilla. And he's actually a character in the Ultraman universe. So that's the question that you're asking. Yeah, I'm going to do a refresher on my page. All right, let me just... All right, so hopefully, Jose, sorry about that. Technically, I'm just drawing down, so I can't really see comments and stuff, just so people can know that. I'm not just ignoring you or anything. It's just, I just haven't learned how to chew bubble gum and do all that fun stuff just yet. Especially when it comes to this kind of technology. But, I'll tell any artists out there, adaptation, man. Human beings, we're creatures. We adapt pretty good, pretty quickly. So doing this kind of thing, like live streams and things like that, is a it's a necessity in a certain degree. I'll be honest. I want more people to see the fact that yes, there are people like myself that are out here doing artwork that's part of the genre. So we're this ain't no vacuum, man. We're here. The key thing is that we need your support. We need your support for survival. In some cases, I'm very happy to see a lot of kaiju related projects that are, on the crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It just makes me happy. It just shows that sometimes you feel like you're alone in this. You go, oh man, I'm the only one. Am I crazy? There has to be others. Actually, I'm gonna throw a shout out to Mike Wolford too. I finally got to read his series, War of the Monsters. Was it Daikazu? I believe that's the name of the character. I apologize, Mike, if I'm destroying his name. But again, he put those books out back, was it in the 80s? I gotta look again. But I never heard about them. The only time I really heard about them was when he had his Kickstarter campaign. It was a couple of years ago and stuff. And then I was like, oh man, I missed out. That's always the case, I'm always like, when it comes to some of these campaigns, I'm like, I find out about them last minute. It's like, oh, they're over. And so I was like, oh man, I want to read this, when it drops. So opportunity came up, and he made a post that he was selling some stuff, and I was like, well, do you got this? Do you have it? And he said, yeah, man, I got you. So a big shout out to Mike Wolfer, man. But check it out, he was doing it. He's an American guy, and he did his own Kaiju story, which I love the character design. So maybe seeing something in the future. And then you have Kaiju Mox currently. That's, I think, by only press, and fantastic. And I got to check to see if the volumes. I'm caught up on the volumes. But again, another Xander Cannon. Yeah, I just had a brain like freeze where I was like, I couldn't think of Xander's name. I was like, Xander Cannon, going through it. But he's the creator of Kaiju Max, and he's doing stuff out there. You would imagine, like in my head, I'm like, man, the Kaiju community must be eating that book up, because it's definitely an homage to everything that especially like the Showa era and even newer stuff. But I think more of the Showa era, now I think about it. But definitely a book, people should be checking out, man. All right. Oh, and I just want to give another heads up that tomorrow I'm going to be doing which I had spaced out on, a YouTube. I don't know if it's an interview or whatever. Not an interview, but I'll be chatting. Let's just say that YouTube chat with Lucifer Storm on his YouTube channel tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 3 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. I'll definitely do posts and stuff, so people can maybe check it out, and I'll be ranting some more. And again, I just want to thank so many people out there that have really have dug my work and stuff, and hit the likes and all that goodness. For the people that have, gone a step further and hired me to do some pieces, some commission work, and things like that. Kudos. Thank you so much. Much respect. Let's see how we reply. Let's see. Just in case. Let's see. All right, maybe this helps him. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying this. Let's see. All right. Mm. Hmm. All right. Let's see what we got here. I almost forgot you guys are out there. I'm all getting into this now. In my previous video, when I was the one that I fortunately had to change and stuff, and I was trying to explain the fact of, you know, when I started working on this piece, I started getting reference. Reference is very important. I don't know how you can do anything without proper reference. Not in the sense to copy or trace. Well, maybe. I mean, if it's just depending on what your level is, yeah, I would suggest tracing somewhat to just get you started. But the main goal is to eventually be able to look at reference with your eye and then expand upon that. Don't become, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like you become almost a not a victim to it, but like you need to use reference all the time, that kind of thing. You don't. That's not the whole point of it. The point is that you take something and then you use it just like any other tool. You use it and then you expand off of that. So when you take it and then apply your voice to it, and then you grow from it, and then it becomes something. It becomes you. It becomes something newer instead of just like, okay, technically, you are technically being a copy machine. So you're taking something from another artist, which is a photographer. You're taking something that they've done, this image, and then technically as a copy machine, just copying it. And sure, you may be applying, a medium to it, colored pencil, marker, whatever, but technically it's still a copy. You want to be able to, add a little bit more. So like if I was to look at, say, the head of a character, then I would add a body to it. That's what I would do. If I saw a snapshot of a head, I add a body. If I saw a character standing still and I like the pose and stuff, I would say, okay, well, maybe if I add a background, I can add a background, and maybe if I move that arm a certain way, you're working to try to make it yours. Add your voice to it. You don't want it to be something that's a blatant rip of somebody else's, because they've already added their voice to it. They've already made it theirs. So you want to try to make it yours. And I know that's a tough thing too, because many of us, we all have a sort of, we see something and it can be like, wow, that looks really cool. There's times where I've seen pictures of things and I go, man, that looks really cool. But never in my mind do I go, yeah, you know what, I want to copy that. Copy it like literally was it verbatim. Like I don't think like that. Like for me, if I see something that I find is really interesting and new and whatever, then I go, well, I wonder how I can apply that. For instance, I did this draw off with Rob Geronimo from Bloodville, and Rob has such a very interesting style, man. Really classic, like, I mean, beautiful, just black, black and white, pen and ink, dark kind of stuff. And he uses speckle. He's still a speckle, and we had different names for it. But technically, you take white out, a white paint, and you just, you go nuts with it, and it gives this nice speckle effect. And he's got it down pat. I mean, he's like the master of it. And it was something that when I saw his work, man, it just brought me back to when I was in art school, because that's something that I used to do. You mask off my paper, and and then just for me, I would grab sometimes I would grab a brush, but then sometimes I would use a toothbrush and stuff to spackle, just whatever clear effect. It's messy as hell, but I didn't care. It was all about the art, about creating some, if you wanted to create like this, how a galaxy, you think about how a galaxy may look, and the stars are all these various different sizes, and and they're not just perfect circles and stuff like that. That's spackle, or just even just an effect or whatever. And I looked at it and I'm like, man, that's really cool, And I was like, all right, I may have to start getting back to doing that. But again, that inspired me. His work inspired me to step my work up and to try something, do something that I did before. Actually, it's not a new thing, but something that I haven't done in a long time. All right. And one of the things about Ultraman is like when the characters were fighting, whatever. Oh, the moves, man, I love it. I mean, it definitely defied like physics and stuff, but that was cool. That was fun. We didn't care. I didn't care. I guess that's why we love the Showa era monsters. Because first off, there was seriousness. There was a level of seriousness, but the weight of movement of the monsters. That's a huge stickler for me. Like I'm more into the sense of the movement and can we get some interesting, just how the creatures move and stuff like that. That's the thing that's always. It's almost like when you first see watch Jurassic Park and the way the dinosaurs moved and how they sort of created that how possibly how they might have moved, and it was cinematic gold. That's how I felt with the new like Kong movie and Godzilla. Like fucking breathing and stuff like that, and you know he's lumbering around. And the same thing like Kong. All right. Once more, I'd like to just thank everyone who's decided to come by and check it out. Uh, If you're not tired of my voice and stuff, or the jams and stuff, I'm an old school cat. Been in the working as a commercial illustrator in the business for I would say officially like 30 years. Yeah, I'm in the 30-year mark, and I knock on wood. It's just the fact that I've been able to navigate those waters and keep my humble little boat adrift in the turbulent seas of the art industry. I try to tell any new artists out there that, you know, try to look at the art industry as a whole, as it's much bigger, because it is. It's a much more vast uh, organism, more so than whatever selective uh, part of the organism that you want to sort of work in. It'll help you. It hopefully it will help you. I won't say if it will, because everyone takes it differently. For me, when I first got into it, what I knew inside of myself that I just didn't want to get bogged down to one different thing. I always felt like I wanted to be able to experience as much as I can, even to this day. The chance to be able to work on toys and the ability to do trading cards or sketch cards or or working in advertising and drawing from the point of doing mailers and layouts for mailers to doing storyboards, or just comps for websites and stuff like that. I mean, the range has always been fascinating because I always felt like I could learn something new. I would say that my skills in advertising taught me a great deal of how the power of just marketing, getting out there and marketing yourself. Guerrilla marketing. It does exist. If you have a personality and you're capable of engaging people and stuff like that, I think you'll do well. But if you're fearful of that kind of stuff and you sort of shy away from it, then I don't know what to tell you. Because getting into business, any kind of business, is not for the faint of heart. And all the well wishes in the world won't get you any closer to the agenda. It's gonna take some hard work. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh man. All right, another Judd. Hope you're still there. You're like, oh, I'm checking out, man, this guy. All right, let's see what we got here. Ultraman. An interesting character. I will be honest, man. I'm a huge fan of Go Nage, but man, it's like, why do we not have a Grandizer movie yet? I mean, I was thinking that when I watched Mazinga Infinity, and I'm like, when are we gonna see a Grandizer movie? You know, there's that point where it's almost, I feel like that Mazinga Z is suffering from the same thing like here with Batman. You know, it's like a character, and even Superman, like character has just been like constantly rehashed over and over. Even Get a Robo. Get a Robo has been rehashed over and over. So many different, you know, versions. And it's like now it's kind of like, what about other stuff? I mean, I think I understand about Guy King that there's just some other legal stuff going on and stuff like that. I get that, which is a tough one. I mean, my dream character would be really, as a film, would be Dan Gardes. I love Dan Gardes. I always felt that Dan Gardes, out of all of them, in the sense of like, you know, the idea that human beings create this super robot to fight against another human being who's a would-be, you know, world conqueror kind of, or trying to create his own perfect society. Like that to me is like, yeah, I can grasp that. And I think that it would be really engaging, because the thing about it is the technology isn't like created by aliens or anything. It's just created by humans. So it breaks down. It's about functions. That was one of the cool things I really enjoyed about Dan Gardes, and the fact that the father-son dynamic, but also the fact that they were trained. Like, you know, they went through the process of, they had to train to operate Dan Gardes, which was really cool. I want to say that using microns it's funny. You know, I remember in school I used to use repeatograph pens. That's just people close to my age might still remember repeatograph pens. What a nightmare they were. They would get so clogged, man. Oh, this is horrible. But overall, I mean, you know, I love doing black and white pen art. I was always a big fan of that stuff. Just really enjoyed it, the dynamic of it, and then doing things like cross hatching and whew. All right, let's see what we got here. I really hope your day's doing good. Everybody's prepping up. You know, I think there are going to be some people out there, you know, doing some tricky, you know, Halloween stuff, celebrations and stuff, which is, you know, it's good. Just be safe, you know. That's all. That's all I got to say on that matter. Just be safe. Safe and happy. Much love. All that good stuff. Well, I also want to add, too, because it's like, I get people who ask me, they go, oh, what are you working on and stuff like that. I did some work for this comic book called Legends of Log, released by Alternative Comics. Shout out to Peter Samedi, old friend of mine from 10 years back. And yeah, I had the pleasure of doing a small comic book story in which I got to flex my muscles, drawing his character, the creator's character, Sky. Sky. God, I keep Ski. It's gonna kill me, man. Ski's character. When I drew it again, I looked at the log as a kaiju, you know, and it's funny because, you know, in my head as I'm trying to draw a character, and I told Ski, what I did, that when I'm drawing the character, he's like a fusion in my mind of try to imagine Puck and Wolverine, you know, which is pretty crazy, you know. The Puck's thing is just because of his size wise as compared to other kajus, you know. But I like that because if I was to draw him going against a much taller, bigger adversary, you know, I would think in the terms of like how would Puck do it, how would Wolverine do it, you know, and that the spirit of not giving up, and that to me makes it much more exciting. I feel like I'm one of those kind of people where I love characters who are like the underdog. You know, I don't care about tons of powers. I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, Shin Godzilla kind of lost me because I just felt like it was like Shin Godzilla was this massive creature that kind of was like a mountain, technically a mountain moving, and then he ends up shooting beams. When he shot beams out of his fins and all that stuff, it took away something from me. I love the fact that Godzilla had, especially in the Showa era, but like he had these abilities minus the crazy electromagnetic power thing he had in what was that Mecha Godzilla movie? Oh man, it wasn't the Terror Mecha Godzilla. It was the one where he rips his head off, and yeah, it wasn't Terror Mecha Godzilla. I think Terror Mecha Godzilla was a sequel to that movie. Please, if you know, please comment. But wrong one, wrong pen. I'm all yapping. But you know, I just like when Godzilla, like to me, he had the G cells. I think G cells came later on when they finally explained what they were, but he had a healing factor. Let's just say that he had a healing factor. He could fire his breath, and he had his skills. You know, and I like that. That to me is like, you give me a character like that, I can do a lot visually. You know, because then they can show this character scrapping it out, like the Wolverine's just scrapping out, you know, just crazy and just fighting with the last iota, you know, of their strength, but still enduring. That to me is much more compelling than seeing a character who can just fire massive beams of energy, you know, out of his spines and then wipe out a whole score. You know, I think that if you see a character's hurting, it's just like when Frankenstein conquers the world and stuff. You know, just had the Frankenstein monster, which technically just a giant caveman, you know, but he was super fast. He was fast, and he had somewhat of a. I assumed he had a healing factor, so I'm like, that's enough. Just like I see people in there talking about Kong. That's going to be in King Kong versus Kong, and my first thought when they talked about that, I said, I wonder if he's going to be like the Hulk in a sense where, you know, again he's a giant. I guess I don't know, is he a primate or something like that, kaiju? But anyway, but he's super strong, so maybe his strength gets amped up, and then if that's the case, then everything else gets amped. So it's like the Hulk. So it's almost like he's amped up. So literally his skin becomes, you know, his body reacts, and then it's almost like he's bulletproof. So the same thing with Kong. Like Kong can possibly survive like shelling from stuff, you know. Or if in any case he has a healing factor that's amped up super fast, so he can just kind of, you know, survive all these different things. And you know, like it would take a lot. It would take almost like bodily damage on a horrific level. Like if Godzilla, like the blast that Godzilla released on King Ghidorah, and it just wipes out everything. You know, wipes out King Ghidorah. It would be on that level, like to probably wipe him out. Although wouldn't it be kind of cool, like even if Godzilla released that blast and you just see like King Kong, like he's still like searing, like his body's like searing and he's lost chunks of meat and whatever, but he's like, it's almost like when Superman got hit by the nuclear blast and stuff, and he's like almost a skeleton, but he's still alive. That'd be kind of weird. There you go. Let me just sign my name and they get that in here. God, I went through so many versions of signing my name, man. It's crazy. And I don't know, maybe I might change it up again. There's so many different, like the B and a box, and originally the B was out, and oh man, I went through so many different versions. All right, this is gonna be fun. All right, so he does the toss. Thanks again for coming. I just want to tell everyone out there who's watching, thank you for coming. You know, I'm sure you probably have 1,000 other different things to do. than watch this old man draw. I just want people to know that when I say old man, I mean I'm old school. You know, trust me, I'm out there. I'm in the best shape of my life at the ripe age of 50. You know, I've you know, even this summer before my surgery, I had two surgeries. Back in I had 2018, I had a neck surgery, and in 2019, I had a lower back surgery for my spine. And before those happened, I mean, I was running a solid 5 mile, 5 mile, just running solid. You know, so I was doing really well, and then those came in, and it kind of, you know, changed some things for me. Didn't stop working out. What it did was it just made me much more mindful of my body and the things that I'm capable of doing, and how can I remodify some of this stuff, and which I have. So this summer, actually, I stretch a lot more, and I have devices now that sort of help me with my back and stuff, to strengthen it, and I do a lot of stretching, something that I didn't really do, which is, you know, stretch a lot, which is important when you're working out. But this summer, you know, I did some runs. Surprisingly, I got a solid like 2 mile run this summer. But the difference is that I found that now that I try to run up hills, do hills, so I changed it in which, you know, I did power walk. So if I did 5 miles, I just broke them up. I broke my running up. So I would do power walking and then run, and you know, and then I shifted where it was more like, you know, I try to get nice hilly areas and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just to mix it up, which is important. And now as the winter, because I hate, I'm not a winter runner. I'm not even like I don't consider myself a runner. And I try to, and I want people to understand that I think that there are people who are clearly runners, you know, who just run. But I'm more somebody who I enjoy doing it, for fun. Not for fun, well, for my health and stuff, but not something where, you know, like I follow religiously. So, you know, I'm not doing marathons or anything of that stuff, or races or anything like that. I did a few earlier on, you know, but no, I'm good. But you know, I just do it as just part of my, you know, something as my wellness, you know. But when it's cold, no, I'm good. I'm actually as it's getting colder, what's really great is me and Jess have gotten into the point of we do like our walks. We do these 4 mile walks early in the morning. I'm talking, you know, I'm up early. You know, I'll be straight with you. One of the things I had to learn was that I had to sort of get a nice solid sleep schedule. So I tend to go to bed around a little after 6. You know, like I'm totally out. I know I'm totally out by 7. Let's just say that, and then I'll wake up like around 2:30. You know, on a good time. We got our cat Shadow. Shadow come in, and she's the alarm clock because she wants me to get her some milk or something. So we got like this cat sip milk that's for cats and stuff. So she loves that stuff, and we alternate between days to give it to her, so she don't get a lot. But anyway, she's my alarm clock. So I wake up, I do that ritual, then I'll, you know, listen, look at whatever assignments that I have, art and whatever, and I'll start hitting that. And then by 4 o'clock, that's when Jess is at the point where she's ready. She gets up. We do I do like a roughly 30-35 minutes of stretching, and then we're both out now, at least by 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. to do a walk, and we were at this point doing 4 mile walks in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. And guess what? We're not the only ones out there. There's other people too that are doing it. So, you know, the hardcore crew. But yeah, you know, just something to just keep the body moving. And then we've also do like a sort of cardio workout during the week with a program called HasFit, which is really it's amazing. It's like definitely cardio workout. So yeah, so I say to my artist fam out there, definitely be conscious. You know, your body's very important, and that you should, you know, you got to take care of yourself. You know, your hands and things like that, and You know, be conscious. You know, you use these things like my hands and stuff like that. I have, uh, I use wrist weights and things like that constantly, stress weights and things like that. I wear glasses, you know, because I knew that I didn't want to have like my vision problems or, you know, carpal or any of that stuff. And again, you know, you never know. Sometimes you could do all that stuff and then you may end up getting it. But my feeling's like I'm not trying to help it along either. You know what I mean? You know. Whew. All right. Here we go. Take a little break. Just brought me some delicious pumpkin donuts, handmade donuts she made. And I'm nibbling on a piece, man. Oh my God, it's good. It's so good. Let me clean my fingers. Let me refresh my page. See if I can refresh it. And thanks for coming along for the ride, for the art flow. I hope everyone's having a great time. Much love. Much love. Hey Cole, what's going on, man? Yeah, you know, I want to see a live action Granddad. I want to see a live action Mazinga Z. Come on, let's just push it. I mean, I love the animes, which are great, but Grandizer. Oh man, could you imagine live action? You know, like it makes you wonder, like who's pitching this stuff, man? Who's the team that's pitching his stuff to investors out there? Because you would imagine that Grandizer, the fandom for Grandizer is global. Like, why isn't that not getting made? That just boggles my mind. Of the things that get made. Well, again, you know, I remember when they did the that short for Guy King, and then there was this little bit of excitement, and all of a sudden it's just dead. Like there's nothing. You don't hear anything from anything, and it's just like, oh man, you know. But I'm also an optimist, and I want to believe that, you know, never say never. Anything's possible. And I just also want to let people, I forgot who it was. Somebody had actually turned me on to this other giant robot series that came on, which I had no idea about, called Mecha X4 on Disney XD. And since we have Disney Plus, they have it on there. And so I finally watched a little bit of this morning, and, you know, Jess watched it with me. You know, I slowly pulled her in. Yeah. It's funny because Jess isn't really, she's not hardcore into animation and stuff, but I've slowly been pulling her into stuff. Like she really loved the Harley Quinn series that came out, man. That's so funny. Yeah, that was a good one. And then we're watching, the other day we tried the first episode of the Netflix, what is it, the Zeus, the new one, that you can Blood of Zeus or something. And she kind of like that. I mean, it's very, you know, it's got to be something that she's into. Like, I'm not gonna try to, you know, get her to watch Godzilla or any of that stuff, you know, unless if she saw it and she'd be like interested. But it's got to be something where, you know, like the Harley Quinn one, she really loved. She thought it was hilarious, and she liked the art and stuff like that. So, you know, she definitely liked the Godzilla King. She liked the Godzilla, the Legendary Monsterverse stuff, though. And I'm very fortunate that you know, I have someone who is actually somewhat knowledgeable of the stuff that I'm into, which is funny. I mean, when we first were the early stages of dating, and that was my line. Like, I don't know if it was really a line. I guess it is, though. I don't know. But anyway, one of my criteria was that I would ask someone from dating them and stuff whether or not they ever heard of the Thundercats. And I'm serious about it too, man. I'll be straight up with you. You know, I was one of those cats. I'm one of those people where I don't play around. Like, I don't have the belief, like I'm in the mindset that, you know, I didn't want to waste anyone's time, and you know, if I'm not your flavor, then that's cool. I'm not gonna, you know, lose my mind over it. You know, I'll just have to find somebody who's you know, likes my flavor. Oh man, I can't believe I'm saying this. So anyway, yeah, that was my thing. Like, I'll be like, yo, you know, what's up? How you doing? yo, by the way, do you know Thundercats? And honestly, if a woman didn't know Thundercats, then I'd be like, well, what's the point? You know, what's the purpose? You know, you got to at least know that because I want to be able to have conversations with you. You know, Thundercats came out at a time. You know, it's not, for me. It's not even just really about the Thundercats. It's just about the fact that are we gonna have enough stuff in common, you know, to be able to have a good conversation about, you know, and just talk about different things, you know. Because again, I'm a kid from the '80s, you know, and you know, and then we grew up in the '90s and the '70s and stuff like that. So you want to be able to have some kind of conversation, some kind of connection with somebody who can offer that, you know. Now, granted, I think there are people who can, you know, everyone's different and stuff like that, you know, whatever. But you know, I'm one of the people. I wanted to make sure, you know, like I said before, I don't like wasting no one's time. I don't want anybody to waste my time. And so, you know, and the thing about it, Jess was like, yeah, I know that. She's like, do you know Batman? Woo! Yeah, she laid me out. She was like, hey, do you know Batman? I'm like, whoa, well, excuse me, ma'am. All right, all right, let's start talking. And bingo bango, 7 years later, we're hitched. We're married. It's all good, man. It turned out good. Good stuff. She's definitely someone who inspires me and stuff. She keeps me going. Her and Shadow the cat. Oh, love cats, man. I love dogs. I love all animals, but man, I love cats. There's something about cats, man. It's like they're in control. Even if they're not, you know, I guess, but it's like they are, you know. And I love it. I've had some of the most amazing conversations with Shadow. Jeez. Yeah, he just looks at me like, all right, you stupid human. Keep talking. Just feed my food. Scratch my back. Scratch my neck. All right. Frank's getting crazy now. Hope you folks out there can handle a little bit of nuttiness. So anyway, still drawing. See how my screen's looking. Oh, here, let me move this out the way. All right. And I'd like to thank you all for the likes and stuff. You know, I much appreciate it, you know. I'm one of those people where, you know, I don't chase likes, man, and that stuff. I don't believe in any of that. I just think that if someone takes the time to do what they do, then I'm honored by that. You know, you didn't have to take the time to do it. You know, you did it because genuinely you want to do it. That's my belief. Just like me, I don't just do it just to do it and whatever. You know, I do it because if I genuinely look at something and I go, yeah, this moved me, then you know, I say, hey, look, I got to show some love for this. All right. All right, let's see where we're going. Whew. And thank you so much for coming on this chilly Halloween. Yeah, I'm up in the Northeast, man, and it's chilly, man. And you think I would be used to it too? Yeah, I'm a Boston. I was originally a Boston boy, and whew, man, there's a point where those chills, man, it's just like, ooh, it catches you. Like, for me, it's all about like getting that adjustment. Like you get this adjustment where you go, okay, but it just when it comes quick, it's like, whew, man, god dang. All right. All right. All right, let's try this. Love drawing these little buildings and stuff in here. One of the artists I really admire is Geoff Darrow. I feel like he freehands a lot of his stuff. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does use this. You know, he does use a straight bar ruler or a triangle or whatever. But man, there's something about when you see artwork when it's like freehand, like people doing buildings. I can't think of the other artists. God, people know him too. His work. He does work on walls and stuff like that. He's phenomenal. But you see him just freehand stuff. I don't know why I can't think of his name. It's killing me. But boy, man, it just something about that. Like I'm a huge like. I love the organic. Let me create a word: organicness. I love the organicness of just free drawing, man. It's just like when back in the day, when I'd be on the train on the Orange Line, coming home from work or whatever, and you see some cats freestyling, man. Something about it when it's just raw. It's just raw, and it's just the energy is just out there, man. It's just I love that stuff, you know. And again, I don't want to take away, I'm not trying to throw shade on people who like it when it's that perfect kind of clean and whatever, because it's not for tit for tat or in that goofiness or whatever. Art is subjective, and everyone has their flavor and stuff like that. And my flavor is I just love an organic style to stuff. I like when it's a human hand to it. I like seeing, little accidents. If they're little accidents, that stuff to me it impresses me. I guess it's one of the things about that I loved about sketch cards, is that they're unforgiving. Like you can clean them up, but there's times when I've had accidents where I couldn't. There's times when, I'm using a Copic marker, and I'm sure this has happened to many other artists out there who've done this stuff, where a dab of color will fall right on a spot that you didn't want, and you're just like, oh man, it's just like you look at it and you just go, oh man, that's good. You have that one moment where you go, oh god, and then all of a sudden, then I know for myself, my brain will kick in and go, well, how can I transform this? How can I make this something else? And then you find it, you go, man, I did it, So, there's no worry. You got it done. So yeah, I love this stuff, man. I love drawing. And it's funny coming from a person who, when I first went to art school, I was terrified of the idea of drawing like environments and things like that. I was terrified of drawing women. Yeah, I was a classic, male artist that just wanted to draw muscle men. That was it, because it was just easy. It was just something that I was not easy, but it was just something that I was so used to. And then when it came time where I had to start getting out of my comfort zone and drawing things that I just was like, it was terrifying. Especially advertising, yeah, it's terrifying, because again, you're dealing with creatives, various different creatives. You're just dealing with one person for extended time. You're dealing with multiple different people with different different views on art and stuff like that. You make an art director who might be knowledgeable in doing art, which I've had, who you could be working on, and they're trying to school you on stuff. And then you have art directors who they might be more inclined to more on the lines of copy or graphic art, which I'm always trying to explain to people that graphic art is in many cases I consider different than just straight illustration of just drawing like an image. I think graphic art is something where you in many cases you could be telling a story that's using typography or iconic. What is it? God, let me see if I get the words. Iconography. Am I saying that right? Hopefully, but doing stuff like that. Maybe the use of color and things like that, which is still an art form as well too. But if I'm drawing like what you're seeing before you, then you're seeing me freehand. I'm drawing, drawing out figures and things like that. That might be someone different than someone who's just doing, who's focusing mostly on graphic art, which is amazing. Let me not, I'm not trying to make sure people understand that I'm trying to lessen it, because I love it. I think that when Butera School of Art had people that were doing sign painting, which is amazing. Let me just say that, like the ability to literally come in there with, with a brush and be able to put out to do like a perfect letter or words, and they look phenomenal and all hand done. I mean, jeez, oh, I can't. I'm an artist and I can't even. I would think that graphic artists, like if you think comic books, I think of letterers in that context of doing more graphic stuff. Especially the old school letterers, man, when they were doing it by hand. I mean, whew, man. Pikers and knowing the height things and all that stuff. Oh, look at that. So that's that cool organic kind of thing, because even right there you see the building and it's a sloppy little line, but see, I love that stuff. It just makes it much more raw. I mean, I could have broke out my rulers, but I didn't want to break out my rulers. I want this to look as raw as possible. I think it's another reason why I like a lot of a lot of art that was from France. You see a lot of French comics, but also like Mobius and other cats. I can't think of the artists. Well, maybe it was a few artists, but there was a book that I read, the Meta Barons. Oh man, what an amazing series! The art in that is on point, man, on point. But anyway, then also Japanese artists, where they just go in and they just like boom, 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 boom. It looks amazing. It looks like it's just raw, which I love. All right. So we're gonna bring out the brush. Oh, my thing cut off. Okay. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Cole. By the way, I just looked over and I saw that you tagged. Is it Wilfred? And shout out to Wilfred. Wilfred is an amazing artist who builds. He's building super robots, man, out of wood. Yes, you heard it right. Wilfred is building stuff, these figures, out of wood. He is phenomenal. It's incredible. So just a shout out to him and to Cole English as well. Cole is another hero in pushing the message of giant robots out there, the genre. There's a lot, man. There's they're out there. I think the thing about with giant, what I see with the giant robot genre and stuff like that, and I do understand the fact of the love for the models and figures and stuff like that. I think that's wonderful. But also, again, it's like, to me, my first thought's like, man, who are the people who did the packaging art? I would love to get some of the artwork from the person who actually had to draw the design for that mech that's up there. Those are the kind of pieces, like, I want to see that. Like, who's that person? Why aren't people interviewing that individual? As much as I love the model, I would love to see how how that image, that model looked. Like someone drew that model out. And maybe because I'm an illustrator, I'm biased for that stuff. But hey, man, that's just stuff. To me, I always look at stuff and I go, that's the stuff I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing those kind of people being showcased. And I like to see more of that. That's all. I think it's important. I think it's important for artists out there to be able to see that, yes, there are people out there that are doing this and making it happen. I know what I'm going to do. Alright, and just drawing stuff. I will say that the material, like the paper on this, is amazing quality. Kudos to Marvel, man, on this one. This paper quality is holding the pen really well. It's thick too, which is very important. I mean, I posted some sketch covers I did in the past, some commissions that I did. And there was one that I did, and surprisingly, people really liked it, was the Image one. It was from Image Comics. And I was talking to Jess the other day, and I said, people don't understand that was a nightmare to draw on that thing. It was a complete nightmare. Let me just, whatever that paper that they used, it was like slick. It was even if you look at the way the color, the way I tried to save it, like I literally fought with that, with whatever the coating that they had on there. Oh my god. Yeah, that's I'm glad people liked it, but I look at that and I go, oh, it was a hot mess. It was, and I hate, and I think I tried to do penciling. I definitely was trying to save it. I really was trying to save it. I was just like, Oh, and then finally I just had to let it go. I had to just bless it and be like, all right, I'm good. I'm done. I had to. I hope everyone's enjoying this draw stream, and it's just something where I had I did one for the Kaju online, and I remember leading up to it, I was really stressing it because you'd start thinking, oh man, no, it's just crap, man. See me draw. Even though I've had people contact me, they've sent things or postings or comments and be, hey, are you drawing anything or whatever? Now, excuse me, the YouTube channel that I have, and if you want to find it, just do a search. It's on just my name. My name's pretty Frankie B. Washington. You can Google it. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn, and then also I have a YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube channel technically is just a place where I just sort of put these videos, these small snippet videos on there. Now, I don't consider them tutorials. I just consider them a place where I can kind of put things that I've done, and and people can enjoy it or not. Say what you like or whatever. I think there's such a fine line. Like when I see artists that do tutorials and stuff like that, I think that if you aren't doing a lot of work right in the industry, and you got the time, oh god, see, I'm glad I did this, because this is one of the points where I screwed up. Because I'm yapping, but I can fix this. What happened is the tail is upside down, and I'm drawing fins. These are going to be these fins on the other side. So this is great for everyone to see that yes, there are going to be mess ups, but don't lose your mind. What happens is immediately, the good thing about Godzilla is that his underside is so dark. So those lines right there suddenly become these squiggly lines right here. So there you go. But that's another thing too, where if you're not paying attention, these accidents can happen. But as a professional, I've been doing this stuff for so long. You find a way around it. So anyway, back to my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is pretty much a place where I can just drop stuff, and then hopefully people just enjoy it and whatever. It's not meant to be a tutorial. I think the tutorial. I think there are many super talented artists out there that are doing tutorials today, and I would tell any artist out there's no excuse for you. I mean, amateur artists, just starting out, there's no excuse for you not to go on and spend some time looking at some of the tutorials on YouTube. I mean, you're getting opportunities that I did not have when I first started. When I first started in the field, you want to hear nightmares. I mean, I literally had to, hold back now, knock on a door with a portfolio in my hand, and literally have people look at me like I had something on my face, and go in and talk nervously to them, and then get the, well, we'll call you kind of thing. Even I've had doors slammed in my face. So, I went, many artists like myself went through that beautiful era of having doors closed in our faces, but it honed our skill, our ability to be able to talk to people, and to also be able to look at the experience of being a commercial or freelance artist, and saying, look, when one door closes, two more will open, and I've always lived by that sort of mantra, two doors close, three more opportunities open up. Because the reality is that there are millions of clients out there. You just have to be willing to look for them. There's millions. It's not like we don't live before, when I started out in the 90s, early 90s, when I started out, I was limited really by my location. I lived in Boston, and then I would send letters out to agencies and stuff like that. The internet was just slowly coming in. I really didn't know too much about it. But really, I was limited by that, and just sending letters, and then physically going to agencies and stuff like that. And you do the initial meeting with the art buyer and stuff like that. Yeah, you're sweating bullets. You're scared out of your mind. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't hear from them. And then when you do hear from them, then they're like, we need something. And the thing about advertising, and you know, I've always felt, is that advertising is a very, very fast paced and it's hardcore, man. You know, when you look at comic books, and I'm not trying to lessen the fact that comic books, I've always felt that comic books, you know, they had a schedule, you know, and then, you know, have a certain amount of time to work on something, whatever. Unfortunately, in advertising, you don't. Even with a film production, they can be like, well, we hire you and you can have maybe whatever, 3 to whatever months, yeah, X amount of months or what to work on something, whatever, you know, they'll let you know, they'll give you an idea. Advertising is, you know, you may think you may have a day, you may only have hours. You know, you may think you have a week and you only have days. You know, you may think that you have a month and you only have a week. And the thing is that it's fast paced. You know, you got to get the job done. You're losing your mind the whole time, you know, because you're just like, oh my God, what the, oh, you know, everything's insane, you know. Actually, you know what? Let's try to think how that arm would be over there. Maybe we might be able to see some of that arm. I'm going to bring my pencil in because I think that I'm going to throw the other arm sort of sprayed out. But so it's definitely it was one of those businesses where, you know, where it's very fast paced, and I had to learn, you know, I had to learn to sink or swim. So, and this is without the ability of, you know, getting online and communicating. Like now, I, as a person that has done all that stuff, when I get online and I'm connected to people from the Philippines to the UK to, you know, all over the world. I mean, it's phenomenal to me. Why aren't more people utilizing this as a tool to be able to get their work out there and to be able to get it in front of the eyes of potential clients? I mean, I find it mind-boggling. You know, there's no excuse. You can do it. But the thing is that you have to overcome your own self-doubt. You know, you do have to have confidence. Because if you don't have confidence, you know, and I'll tell you, as many of my mentors told me, then there's always going to be somebody waiting to step in, and that's how it is. You'll lose that opportunity, that chance to somebody who, in some degree, may not even be as could be gifted. They could be amazingly gifted as an artist and whatever, and could be tremendously good, or they might not be as strong, but you know what? They get the job done. And that's the end goal for many clients. Clients want somebody who can do the job efficiently, get it done, you know, deadlines crushed, and whoever they're pitching to is happy, and you know, you're rewarded by getting more work, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. But yeah, you know, it's I look at this and I say, yeah, this is, geez, I'm like a kid in a candy store when it comes to this stuff. You know, I love reaching out and engaging people who are into what I do, and also engaging potential new clients. You know, there are millions of new clients out there. They're just waiting. They just need to find out who you are. So just bear that in mind. Think of it in that term. Don't think of it in a combative way, or you've been focusing energy on one particular client and, you know, and that's it. I think that, to me, when I hear somebody do that, I'm like, you literally have just put yourself in a pigeonhole. You know, it's almost like trying to think of the NBA or something, or some sports team, and you're just sitting there like, man, I want to play on the Patriots or whatever, and or you know, or whomever, you know, the Giants or whatever sports team, hockey, baseball, whatever, and that's all you're focusing on. You're not looking at the fact that there are other teams, and that somehow, like, if you worked on if you were on another team, that by being on another team and by having the opportunity to be able to showcase your work, that you're building up. First off, you're building up rep, which is and cred, which is important for any creative person out there. You need some rep. You do. Let's be honest. You need rep. You know, I'm not talking about you know, the click kind of thing, because I'm not a big fan of clicks. I never have been. I don't follow that kind of nonsense. But I do believe that as an artist, you build a reputation of solid solid body of work. You get the job done. You understand that this is a business. Um, if you're dealing with art directors and stuff, you're not just a copy machine. You're able to contribute to the team for the overall goal of succeeding. I look at many uh, projects that that I've worked on and stuff like that, and I find that I'm doing stuff that that artists don't usually do, and that's the fact of talking about it and showcasing the publisher's page and stuff like that. I'm not being paid by that publisher. I've been paid before to do the job that I did, but I'm not being paid to do marketing and stuff like that. But I look at it and I go, well, I was part of that process. That's that whole process of being, working in advertising. It's a team effort, and we all kind of, bathe in the glow of that. Even though we're not all getting, I got paid very well in advertising, no complaints, but it is a team effort. And I'm one of the kind of people where I like that. I like that feeling of that we succeed. If we worked on a campaign and I was part of that campaign and I turn on the TV and I see an ad, I go, I worked on that ad. I was there. I was there in the beginning, man. I was doing storyboards and and they this is how it originally looked. If they didn't change anything, you go, oh man, I was there. That feels good. And guess what? I was paid for the work that paid what my professional rate is. Let me not just get try to knock it down. I was fairly compensated, but that's usually how it is when you're dealing with companies. Companies are the main rule of companies is that they're paying you to be an adult. They're paying you to do a job, and that you're going to do that job professionally. That's why they're paying you the bucks. They don't want somebody to come in there and not fulfill what they're supposed to do. So that's just a little bit of knowledge I'm dropping on you cats out there who want to try to get into the art industry, And again, I'll keep stressing art industry, and I will always stress that. I don't want people just to get locked down to one thing and not think they can do anything else. I think the major agenda for even writers too. I mean, I see writers out there, and I think everybody wants to write novels, but that's a huge thing, man. And I don't know if you want to try to pay your bills, you may have to consider other aspects of writing. Just a consideration, It's consideration. There's I met a lot of cool copywriters who also spoke about being, writing novels. You gotta think of it in terms of building your skill up, your skill set up. If you're a writer, you should be writing. Someone once told me that. He said, if you're an artist, you need to be drawing every single day. Every single day. You need to be drawing, regardless. If that means you got to do layouts, layouts for, I don't know, Charmin toilet paper or whatever, then do those layouts with a smile, man. Just get it done. You'll find that you'll learn more. You'll first off you'll learn techniques, but also you'll find that your skills will be growing just by doing things like that. You may not think it is at the moment, but they will be growing. Wow. Sorry about sound effects, man. As soon as I start drawing this nutty stuff, man, I start thinking about sound effects and everything. But so that's just some knowledge I'm dropping out to you. As an artist, you should be trying to get gigs that are in the art industry and try to work on as many different projects. I actually have done greeting cards. I've done greeting card art. I've done editorial art. I've worked on some magazines, did some magazine covers. What else? Toys, novels. Did some art in novels. Storyboards. Got 2 film credits, 2 Miramax films. Let's see what else. Comic books, of course. Worked on a couple of comic book stuff. Trading cards, sketch cards. Can't think of anything else. I shy away from logos just because I just consider logos as graphic art. And the only time if I ever did a logo, it would be working with a graphic artist. So that means that I would be doing the like this right here, the artwork, and then they in turn would probably hire somebody else to do a logo to connect with it. I trust me, I get clients all the time who contact me, like, and I'm very upfront about it. I don't work in vector. I don't even own vector program software. If I knew somebody that did it, then I'll pass it on and whatever, and just be like, well, look. Or some clients have now, like, because they love my art style, they will tell me just to do the line art, and then they'll give it to somebody who will vectorize it and stuff like that. So that's how you get around it. I mean, like I said, as I've gotten older, I'm more like in tune of what where my strengths are, and and where my weaknesses are. And the thing is that I embrace my strength. I'm not in that mindset where I feel like I need to do everything. Some people, feel like they can do everything, and that's cool if you can. I'm just not at that place. I've done a lot of different things. I've worked insane hours, 24-hour shifts, things like that. And as I've hit the 50 mark, now I'm looking at the next stage of my life and just pacing myself. I want to be able to create beautiful, solid artwork, stuff that I really feel proud about and stuff like that. And ideally, I want to be able to work with clients who also want to have me do beautiful artwork and whatever and stuff, and then take it from there. Not too bad, huh? All right, so there we go. Let me get a little bit more. I'm gonna take another chunk out of this. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm gonna refresh my page up here. I'm glad you guys do. It's 10:26 now. I'm actually doing pretty good. A lot better than I thought I was gonna do. And once again, I'd like to thank you. Please feel free to share this. If anybody in there could go to YouTube and share my link and stuff, that'd be cool, or whatever. Just hey, share it. Hopefully it will. If anything, what I've heard from people, they say that many times when I talk and whatever, that it inspires them. And so if it inspires you, then I've done my job. I want you to be inspired. I want you to not feel like that you need to give up. All right. So now I'm using a brush pen. I just turned the art. There you go. Let's see. All right. I'm just gonna do some nice pull dragging right here, which I tend to do a lot now. And it's funny, I am addicted to brush pens now, just because, again, it's the efficient, they're very quick, easy. But I know that some days, I look at my old school brushes and the inkwell, and I'm like, I gotta dig you out. All right, let's see what we got here. Come in. It's that whole thing where it's kind of, get some of that hair off there. Get some of the hair off there and just come in. And again, it's all about not being afraid. Don't be afraid. Just, get in there. Don't overthink it. Just, create some, you start creating like little angles in there. It's funny. You could really, just little brush strokes. Come in. Now I'm gonna jump on this right here real quick. I'm gonna throw some highlights in there. Look like it froze. Let me see. Yeah, hopefully it's still filming. Yeah. Live. All right. I hope I'm still filming. All right. Okay. You guys will let me know if it's, because on my screen, on my laptop, my screen has me frozen. So I said, I use this gel pen right here that I found. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't speak Japanese, but I'll tell you one thing. Out of all the gel pens I've used over the years, this one has been the best. So, is it Uniball? Oh, hold on, excuse me. Here you go. Sorry. This is the right. Let me see. Can you guys see that? Yeah, that's a Uniball Signal UM153. So yeah, I tend to like this one, and I think that's one of the things too as an artist is that I've never been a fan, like people talk about like expensive things or whatever, like, oh, you need such and such. It's really your skills, I mean, I don't know if you ever watched Crumb, which was an amazing sort of documentary about Robert Crumb, but he was drawing a lot of stuff with ballpoint pens. So just bear that in mind, I just think that, it's really your skills. Tools are great. I don't know if you need to break the bank with it, but it's your choice. But I know that I won't break the bank for it. I've had people for years try to suggest, oh yeah, you should. I'm like, dude, I do what's comfortable, and whatever works. I don't get lashed down to how, whether or not I should have, whatever horsehair brushes and whatever. If I'm able to create the same effect and on a budget, then I'm good. Everything about me is about efficiency. Like, it's not about maximizing, trying to spend tons of money for stuff. It's about, how can I save money but still get a maximum what's the word, output or whatever from the stuff that I'm using. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Ranting like a madman over here. Oops. Draw some funky stuff going here. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna hit some little crosshairs right there. Whew. All right, now working on the final one. I'm cranking right now. So again, thank you very much for coming by and hanging out with me. I'm working on the final image. Although let me see. Let me hit him with a little bit of shadow over here. Ultraman is such a cool character, man. It makes you wonder that if they're doing all this stuff, so is it leading up to a potential like Ultraman movie? Like some major studio's gonna pick it up. It does make me wonder. I mean, he's a very popular character. So we'll see. We'll just see, Anything's possible. I'm at this point, anything's possible. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy that this kind of character is being received by a more, or even though Ultraman has been received by the global market and stuff, I still think here in the West it's still been a tough sell. Yeah, something about the although it's weird because manga is like huge here. So it's so weird, man. All right, let's see what we got. Oh man, it's a great day too. Let me see. The sun's actually coming out. It's really chilly earlier, but this is like perfect weather to be just drawing stuff and chatting it up with folks, man. Well, me just ranting and chatting. All right. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to be chatting with Lucifer Storm on his podcast. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that, but that's okay. It's happening. It's happening. No changes. Making it happen. So, oh man. There you go. All right, let's see. I said some freehand. Let me just bring this over a little bit, see if I can get a little straight. Boy, I think I got it a little too high. So I'm gonna break it down a little bit like this so it's not too high. All right. All right. I'm gonna go for my smaller brush. My smaller micron. Let's see if I can get in there. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of shadows in this too. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm so excited. It made me get really happy, man, when I saw that Mike Mignola was doing those the kajus. Like, you think he did Ultraman and stuff. That was crazy, huh? I don't know if anybody saw that. He was putting it on Twitter, and eventually they would like auction off for charity. But man, that was awesome, man. He killed it. I mean, man, I'm a huge fan of his work. Got to meet him. I doubt he remember me, but I got to meet him when I was in art school. There was a con up in New York. That's a con. I actually bumped into Jim Lee at that one. Bumped into Jim Lee. Jim Lee was in a rush, so he kind of passed me and whatever. Cause what did he say? He pointed to like the fan, like was it a group of people like standing and saying that, if I wanted to talk to him, I had to get a line. I was like, all right, dude. And so I left that, and then I ended up bumping into Joe Kubert, who was awesome. Joe Kubert was like, I remember he put his arm around me and he was just talking to me, like, like a father figure kind of thing, but also, because I was in art school, and he just was just schooling me on stuff. Like, he saw some of my samples and stuff, and he just was like, yeah, he's like, I see you like darks, and you got to be careful about your balance and all this stuff, and that was really, I remember that being very, like, it was just amazing. It was very surreal. And then Mike Mignola was like on a table like across the room, and so I just went over and brought my stuff. I was very nervous. Again, that's what happens, very nervous. And yeah, he just looked at my stuff and he just was like, yeah, you got some potential here and stuff like that, but just be conscious of your lights and darks and stuff like that. Very cool. It was really, really amazing experience. Had a great time. Hopefully my dreadlocks aren't getting in the way. Gotta get in here really nice and tight. Something about like putting Ultraman like in shadows, I love. It just looks so ominous, I just love it. He's one of those characters where it just works. Just shadows. And as somebody who loves doing putting shadows and stuff, it's just gold. After coming back with the white. Yeah, something about it. Just like, I just love drawing them in shadows, man. It just looks so amazing. All right, here we go. Yep, going off the page. You know that was gonna happen. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's add a little bit more weight on here. Play with the line weight a little bit. Thicken them up a little. Yeah, the way that artist in Marvel's doing them. Oh man, he looks so strong, man. You know, that's one of the things I like how they're doing Ultraman. He just looks really like, well, you know what it is? It feels like, again, when I think about how Marvel, when they did the original, like, Godzilla books, you know, with Herb Trimpe's work, where Godzilla actually fit into the Marvel universe. Like, it wasn't like they were just doing this adaptation, you know, just saying, okay, Godzilla like a one-off. It was like Godzilla actually, the way Herb Trimpe did it, he fit in the Marvel universe. So that's when they had him with the Avengers and whatever, was it Champions and stuff like that. It just worked. It looked fantastic. Oh, all right, I'm getting there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I see. There's part of me where I think that what I may do is treat like this part as part one. You know, that I'm doing today, and then another time I'll end up doing like the back cover. Because technically, the back cover, one idea I had that I'm playing around with in my head is that it's almost like you got the engagement. Like, you have them, the engagement, like maybe a bigger picture with them engaged, and then we go into this cycle. We see, like, it's almost like telling a story coming from this point. So that's just one thought. But see, again, it's I'm one of those kind of people where I like to sort of sit on something for a little bit just to get my thoughts together, and you know, because I'll get a crazy thought right now, but then I'll go, nah, I don't know if that'll work. You know, that's one thing about me is I love telling stories in my art, and like I say, well, my feeling is that I get that from looking at Frank Frazetta's work. Frank Frazetta, if you look at his pieces, to me, I felt like his pieces told stories. It's almost like how Alex Ross is, but the thing about Frank Frazetta was that he could just draw like a small segment, a piece, like, you know, something that even doesn't even have that much background or whatever. But to me, you look at it, it's like the beginning. Like, it's like it's already part. Like, he took this segment of a bigger story, in my opinion, something much more grander and bigger, and he just happened to just carve off this little section so you can see. So then it forces you to be like, well, whoa, what else is happening? Like, there's something here bigger that's going on. And that's what I always admired about Frank Fazetta's work. You know, so when I draw stuff, there's this part of me, like, I just can't I have a hard time, like, you know, drawing just a headshot, a floating head, or just any kind of static art. I feel like I need to tell a story. I need to tell, like, something a little bit more, what's the word? Substantial. You know, I just feel like the person viewing it needs to get a little bit more. I don't need to tell them everything, but I just feel like you just need to get a little bit more. It's like you're getting a meal and stuff. It's like, you know, I'm not trying to give you, if I'm offering you a hamburger, I'm not trying to give you, like, you know, like a sliver, like a smaller sliver, you know, not even like the meat on it. It's just the bread, and that's it. It's the bread. And be like, yeah, it's a hamburger. And you're like, no, this isn't how a hamburger is. And like, well, yeah, you know. I want to be able to give you somewhat of a meal, so then you can take it and be like, oh, okay, all right, I see what he's going here. All right, I want more of that meal. I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, when I look at the work that Frank Frazetta did, oh man, it's like you know that there's such a bigger story. You know, who's this warrior? Who's this king or a woman, or, you know, what are they fighting? Why in this position? What are they thinking about? So for me, and by no means am I saying like Frank Frazetta, so I want to make sure people are clear on that. I'm nowhere near in that level. That's a whole nother level. But my frame of thinking is on like that, where, you know, if you look at my work, I love trying to tell stories. That's why it's very tough for me, because I'll have people contact me and stuff like that, and I actually, you know, I have to think about stuff. When I don't really think about it, that's when you know, sometimes I feel like I'll turn on the advertising mindset. That means just to get it done. And then that, you know, that works in a certain degree in advertising, because it's like you're trying to produce artwork at a rapid pace to get it to the client, or, you know, to fill it. And that does work. But I found with comic books, and this is the other side of it, pros with comic books and just finished artwork, is that there has to be a level of more thought to it. You want it to be, you don't want to overthink it. Let me not get that wrong, but you want to be able to, um, you want to work on it so that it's really pleasing for the eye, but also I know for myself, I want to be able to tell. I want to have some level of a message in there, so people can look at it and go, okay, all right, I see what's going on. But I think that's, hopefully I'm explaining it right, not confusing everyone out there in Facebook land. So anyway, so yes, I've worked on some recent comic book stuff, comic book related things. Um, let's see. I have a new. I know there's a Frankengore story that I worked on with John Freeman. That will be coming out later. Maybe in December. Maybe, I don't know. But it's coming through Alterna through their. It came out on Wednesday, so that's coming out. I believe there might be another story or so for Team KS1 by Matthew Blair, and then there is a property that is this new comic book, not property, but uh, a concept that I've been working with Matthew, that we're looking to try to maybe try to shop it around and stuff. So I think Matthew's trying to shop it around. So we'll see where that goes. You never know. So it's always something going on, and that's what you want. You know, I don't know of any artist who just doesn't want to be not having something going on. Whew. All right. Oh man, I can see the finish line. I literally can see the finish line. And another thing is that I think I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of Herb Trimpe, but also I will say that of course Jack Kirby is a huge influence as well. But John Byrne, I would say John Byrne was really pretty much, he's like right after, for me, Herb Trimpe. Herb Trimpe to me, again, phenomenal illustrator. But I loved Herb Trimpe, excuse me, Herb Trimpe's. It seemed like there was this level of fun with his artwork, where he would play around with sizing and stuff like that, and it just worked, and I like that. I'm not a fan of like everything has to be, the right size and all that stuff. Like, the monster has to be like, oh yeah, it's like 200 feet and you gotta draw. It's like, nah. I like the fact that you play around with size and stuff like that, because they kind of did that with the Showa era stuff, where it wasn't just perfect. It was just like, because it just, I just like that. So that's what I got from Herb Trimpe, and then I hold true to that. I love it. But from John Byrne, I would say honestly, in a cinematic kind of way, I've always dreamt of seeing John Byrne's Fantastic Four on the big screen. Like, his level of drawing was just phenomenal, and the level of action, like that's like this scene right here, down here. This would be like John Byrne. Like, he was the one who I saw his work where he would show somebody like the Hulk punch something, you get like fragments, massive fragments and stuff like that, and yeah, I just looked up. Byrne is amazing, crazy fast too. Yeah, Craig, he definitely is. And again, that's a lot of brushwork. I know Terry Austin did a lot of his stuff, and there was a lot of brushwork. And I learned, that's another thing. I sort of adapted. I know I'm going all over the place, but I will admit that I saw this documentary about Jack Kirby, and they were talking about how Jack Kirby's style adapted for comic books back then, because he was doing so many comic books, so he had to adapt his style so it was fast paced and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what I did, where I do a lot of like large brush strokes and things like that to sort of fill up stuff, because again, my mind's kind of programmed the fact of speed and time. Like, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I got this gig right here, and then all of a sudden it's like I got another gig, I got another client that's got some stuff that needs to get done. So I have to be mindful of you know, of getting the stuff done. So you look at John Burns' work, and it's that same thing. I mean, he had an amazing inker, like Terry Austin, and Terry Austin also penciled too. I think I don't know if he penciled any stuff, but he was an amazing, just all around artist as well. So he was very fortunate. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, sticking up those thighs a little bit. Ultraman. I think it's so funny because it's like, you know, in the last couple of years, I was never like a huge fan of, and I say it, you know, not in the sense of knocking it down, but you know, people would ask me about Gundam and stuff, and I've seen some stuff with Gundam, but I was always like, oh, you know, I just wasn't just a fan of it, you know. But then out of the blue, I started getting commissioned to do patchwork with Gundam related stuff. And it just was like one of those weird things where it was just like the universe was like, well, you don't like well, not like Gundam, but you don't draw enough Gundam. Well, guess what? You're going to be drawing some Gundam. And the same thing like Ultraman. I never really drawn a lot of Ultraman stuff, but then all of a sudden, you know, once that sketch card thing came up with R.R. Parks cards, then all of a sudden it's like Ultraman everywhere. You are correct, Craig. If you are an inker, then you are a tremendous artist. You should be, you know, because the whole point is that inkers, in some degree, bring a lot to the table. I always love the term embellisher. I remember they don't use that anymore, but I used to love that term, embellisher. You know, they enhance the stuff. My boy Rob Stoll, pretty well-known inker from Marvel, did a couple other books and stuff. I remember seeing him back in the day when he was living in New York, man. And man, his skill work with ink, the sharpness of his brush. Oh my God! You know, I just from watching him, I picked up some certain things. You know, something about the hand, man. Most screen inkers are excellent artists in their own right. Yeah, me too. All right, brother. All right. All right. I don't know. What time is it? Let me just look at, because I got I can't believe 10:52. Wow. Not bad. So I think I started a little around 8 o'clock. So roughly 2 hours. Around 2 hours. I'll make his eyes a little bigger. See, this is that point where I remember my teacher in art school once told me, he said, you got to learn when to sort of, you know, bless your work. You know, because every artist goes through that whole phase of just like, what else I got to do? Is there something else? And then you can ruin a piece. And so I got to be careful because, you know, I'm really liking the energy in this. Usually what happens is after I do all the inking and laying it down, I like to let the artwork breathe a little bit. That's just my technique. You know, let it breathe, let it relax. And then, you know, clean it up and then see where else I'm going to take it. So I guess I guess I'm done for now. I can't really see anything else, you know. And you know, we'll see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll save this part for maybe the second part of this journey, and you know, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know what else to do. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna be closing it out and stuff, and I just want to thank you all for just coming on by and taking the time to you know, check me out and enjoy this piece of artwork I just did. I do apologize for the first segment that I did, because originally, I'll just do it really quick, it was like this. And because I turned my I'm using my iPhone, so it was turned like that, and because I had it all horizontal, because I was like, oh yeah, I want people to be able to see the full pages, but unfortunately it didn't transition that way, and it was being recorded that way. And I know I probably could have did it in editing and switching and stuff like that, but then you guys, it wouldn't be a pleasant way for you guys to kind of view this insanity. Let me see, hold on a second before I cut out. I'll let you guys see a couple of more of my stuff. I'll show you some stuff that I got. Let's see what I got here. Actually, just a little extra. I'll show you some of my this is my collection of sketch cards. Let's move this out the way. let this dry appropriately. These are some sketch cards that I got, so you guys can see. I did this artwork, so this is did this years ago actually. Here, let me take it out, give you guys a little view. So this was for Be a Superhero for Babies card set, and I think it was a charity one, but I ended up doing Great Dengayo and stuff. Yeah, what year was that? 2012. So I got that one, and then I did it's another character. I gotta admit, I was kind of disappointed because I ended up getting the big old comic book series, and I wasn't really happy with the artwork, but you know, that happens. But this was done in 2012, and that was another one. You know, my thing is I always would try to, anytime I did sets and stuff, I would always do robots. I know I was probably driving people crazy, but I would be like, yep, I'm throwing a robot in there. His Giant Robo, it was 2012. Giant Robo. So that's another one. Check that out. And then this was oh yeah, this is Dayguard. Yeah, Dayguard. See, it's funny because it's like I forgot I had this. Hey, what's happening? Was it Nolly? I can't see. I got my camera up, but hey, man, thanks for coming by. But yeah, this is Great Dengayo sketch card that I did, and as you can see, I love drawing action scenes. I got this when I was doing sketch cards. There was this artist by the name of Nar. He was called Nar, so spelled Nar. He is phenomenal. You do a Google search for him, go Nar sketch cards. He is a god in the sketch card world. Phenomenal artist. And when I saw the level of stuff that he was doing in the panel art, and there's others too, like Lock Lim and others, who would draw like these full out scenes of art. And I was like, man, I got to get my game up. And which I love, because I love that. I love the challenge. I think that's the thing about us artists, is that let's not be jealous. Don't be jealous of somebody. When I used to go to Artist Alley and stuff like that, I didn't get jealous. What I would do is I get inspired. And what it does, it motivates me to push myself. I think every artist out there should push yourself. You know, especially if you feel like your skills aren't that strong, you know, then by all means, challenge yourself. That's across the board for life. Never give up and keep challenging yourself. All right, let's see. Oh, you guys are getting a treat today. All right, here you go. I'm gonna bring these all out. These are my let's see, more sketch cards. Oops, sorry about that shaking. All right, here you go. This was Manga Mandy series done by Fivefinity, and you know me, I had to do robots. What year was this? Huh, that's surprising. I didn't sign it. Huh, that's weird. That's weird for me. But then I'm also notorious for trying to sneak my name and all kind of stuff. That's from my old animation days. I don't know what year that was. Huh. This was a 2010 for this one. And this is all hand done, marker, character for Fivefinity. This is the AE, so this is like a these are more special cards. These look like collectors. These are like the collector's artist proof cards, sorry. So that's what Fivefinity. And I did this character, robot woman with a dog. Anytime I can sneak robots in. I actually put myself in one of the cards. That's me with Manga Mandy, FBW. And I signed it up there, but I didn't put the year. And again, there's another one. That's it. That's the back of it. And that's the front of it. Okay. And then here's another one. Here's another Mandy one. 2011. All right. And then this one, I tried to put as much detail as I could. Like, that's her down there. She's the pilot. And she's, you know, sunbathing or whatever. And then you got this creature, Kaiju or whatever, and he's drooling over the robot or whatever. And then that's me as a mad scientist who's built the robot. So, again, that's me, like, you know, like I told you before, I love trying to tell a little story. So technically, both of these cards would go together, kind of thing, you know. And these are the things. This is the way in which I would try to inject what I loved into the sketch card game. Even though Mandy is a very, you know, she's a sexy character and stuff. All right, so let's see what else. All right, and I'll show the piece that I drew for those people that kind of missed out. I'll show it again, but you know, I'm just having fun just showing you what I have in my collection of sketch cards. And these are technically cards that I did. I do have other people's cards that I've commissioned, but yeah, you know, why not? A little bit of time. All right, this is a character. If you guys are into Mazinga Z and Mazinga Z, this is sort of like my own Aphrodite kind of character. So she's being built, and this is my whole thing. It was a card set called Female Persuasion by Fifinity, and this was done back in 2010. So this card is like 10 years old. And what I did was I did a bunch of scenarios. So I created this character. So she's being built right here. And then this shadowy guy right here is pretty much, hope I'm getting it right. This shadowy guy right here is watching her as she's getting built. And then in this scene, let me get it right. Oh, okay. This scene, scenario, she's shooting off her chest missile. Killing this kaiju, and I would do stuff. This is how you know it's a Frankie B. Like I can do that kind of stuff in there with Choom, and then she blows. And I would always throw feet in there. I mean, it's those little things like that I would add in there and stuff just to show some action. So again, that's a female persuasion card that I did. And then right here, during that time, I also started sneaking like me and James Biggie's robot RGA, like just a name. I would sort of sneak it in there and stuff. So, you know, she got her sort of standing. This character. This character has no name. I never gave it a name or anything. I just, you know, just threw her in there and stuff, and just said, okay, well, we'll see if people dig it. And then this is just a weird. I hate. Let me just say this right now. This is one of those things where, again, I was trying to play with angles, and I don't even know what's going on over here. I don't even know what I was thinking of. I know what I was thinking of. I was trying to get this angle like you're looking down and looking up, but it drives me nuts. I feel like I would do it a lot different, like angle them a little different. But the whole point of art is that you have to be able to just go for it, and then you see what happens. So there you go. It's crazy, man. All right, let's see. Here's another artist exclusive card. What's this manga? This is Mandy, but this is a cool one. This is one that I feel really proud. This is one of those times where I did it where she's a pilot. So I took this idea. I had finished watching Giant Robo, and the new one, Giant Robo. Well, I think it could have been Giant Robo, the anime, but I just wanted to do this idea of this robot, like the eye really close up, but I wanted people, of course, to focus on her, of course. So she's technically the pilot, and then you got him in the background, and I wanted to do these interesting kind of monochromatic color effect. And this is, again, all Copic markers and stuff. All right, so that's what year is that? 2011. So it's 2011. And then I have, this was a fun one, Aphrodite. I did this Aphrodite, Gonage. Again, snuck it in there. Love how the eyes are actually done in a fluorescent kind of pen that I still have a ton of them. They're crappy when you try to scan them on a scanner. You kind of lose that, but when you got them on like phones and stuff, hopefully you can see the how fluorescent it is and stuff like that. But again, I wanted to show Aphrodite. I love her. I think great character. I even tried to put a little bit. What's her name? Sanka. God, I can never get her name right. But anyway, she's in there in the bubble, and you got this one of these machine beasts sort of leering at her, coming around the corner to get her. And again, this was for that charity. That charity was fun because it allowed me to put characters that I really wanted. Because when I spoke to the person, I said, hey, look, I'm going to draw characters I like and stuff. So he said, sure, go ahead. Okay, let's see what else I got. These are, now again, like I said, I've purchased cards from various artists. I'd always suggest that artists kind of write their names, their full names, because, many times, it's really tough to, get their names. So I don't know who this artist was. Oh, wait a sec, Dan. I don't know if anyone can read that. Dan, is that an S? A Sierra? Severe? Anyway, I saw his work on eBay, and I saw this card, and because it's a robot, I loved it. His pencil, I think he put like some kind of surface, I can't think of the term, something for it on top of it, but it's really nice. I like that. And then all the best. This is an artist by the name of Boo, 2011. He did this, and I think this is a Transformer. I can't think of Blur. It might be Blur. I think that's his name, Blur, from the Transformers. So I like this work. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here I go right here. I got this one in plastic, I think. I'll take it out of the plastic so you guys can enjoy it. This one was, I called her Lady Tron, and this was for pups. And again, this is a artist edition card that I have. And sexy bot and little puppy here pulling her dress or skirt. Yeah. And then, wait a sec. Show you another one. Oh, this one's I love this one. I'm very, very happy. This one made me very happy to do. I loved how this came out. 2011. I don't know. I just had this crazy warrior mech woman flying through space. And again, this is contributed to my love for John Byrne, who like he would put all this beautiful debris and stuff in pictures, and it just adds so much more to it. And yeah, this was for Frankie B. Washington, artist exclusive Galaxy Gals card set. So this was fun too. All right. And so I really love this card a lot. And then let's see what I got. All right, guys. I won't hold you all the whole day and stuff. I'll go through the rest of these really quickly, but I just want to show you the ones that I have. Come on, get out of there. All right, this was a AP that I did years ago for this is for the Marvel license by let me look. Kree Scroll Upper Deck. Excuse me, God, I forgot. Upper Deck, and this is an official card. And this was from the Kree Scroll War. I worked on that set. That was fun. I did a lot of cool things on there and stuff. But again, anything that dealt with robots, I like Sentinels or things like that. I was like, I want that card. So yeah, this was like, there you go. It's an official card. All right, and then pretty much the rest of the stuff, I'll just show you guys real quick. Actually, let me see. This is just other people. I don't know. I had somebody this was from eBay, I think. Yeah. I saw this on eBay and I just snatched it up. It's rare. Like I rarely see like people drawing, the super robots and stuff like that. So anytime I do see it, and if I really like it, I gotta really like it, then I'll make a leap for it. And here's some other ones. And there you go. It's a pretty cool one. And then I just purchased this one the other day. Fred Hembeck, Sentinel. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see, I'll push these cards around. So here you go. So then you can see, again, this is from another artist. Pencil work, Shogun Warriors. I commissioned them to do Red Ronin and the Shogun Warriors and stuff. Vanguard Ace, I love them, huge Vanguard Ace fan. So if you guys can see that. Okay, Fred Hembeck did a ton. I commissioned, I think, well, actually, I don't know if did I commission him? I can't recall if I commissioned him or he had these on eBay, but I know that I got very lucky. and I scored these, and having them do the Shogun Warriors and stuff made me very happy. He did Markon, the bad guy, the villain, so that was really cool. That was really exciting. Some other people that have done like stuff, Megazord, Pacific Rim. Yeah, there he goes. Vanguard Shogun Warriors. This is a genuine Fred Hembeck sketch card, so that people can see. So I can't tell if I commissioned him or what. All right, some Garbage Pail Kids. There was two different versions of these, but I snatched them up. And there's another one by LeRon. Yep, LeRon. LeRon's amazing. And then I did this. Okay, this is some more of my work. There was a point where I was really playing around doing cover recreations, and this is like, oh man. And then one of the things I want to let people know, if you're gonna do recreations of artwork and stuff like that, please note the artist that you work from. So in this piece right here, I put after Bob Eggleton, because Bob Eggleton did the original piece and stuff, and then technically I'm doing a homage to that piece. But my whole challenge was to see if I can duplicate it down to sketch card size. And so if you're gonna do stuff like that, I would suggest that you put in the artwork after whoever the artist is. I did this back in 2013 because I remember I posted this a long time, I don't know, a year or so ago, and I remember there's some guy, and I appreciate the fact because he was really trying to protect the fact of that Bob Eggleton did the art, but he thought I was somebody who had stolen the artwork or whatever, and then Bob Eggleton actually stepped in and said, Frank, he said, what are you talking about? Frank put my name right in there, and I know and I know Bob Eggleton because he's another fellow Rhode Islander, so. But I told the guy I appreciate the fact that he stepped up, that he was definitely on key about the fact that people using other people's artwork and stuff like that, which is important. You got to be vigilant. So that was cool. And then let's see what else we got here. This is Thunder Punch. This is some 2 cards that I did recently. These are really nice, actually. These are pretty thick. Totally Radical 80s. So these are 2020. Dan got Ace, my hero. And then Mighty Robots. And I love what I did. Like, I was really trying to capture the sense of Umbra. I don't know if people remember the show, but Umbra was like this. God, what was he? He was a planet or something. He was a planet in a planet, whatever. But I wanted to show like Umbra in there and try to get the colors. So I really worked with that. And then you got the Mighty Robots sort of coming form and stuff. So it's a great series. So anyway, these were the most recent sketch cards I've done. And I'm definitely going to be opening up commissions soon enough. So if people are interested in commissions, I'll definitely do a posting and stuff. And hopefully I'll get people who want me to do some kajus and giant robots. Now, this is a guy that I'm sure a lot of the kaju fandom recognize. This is Matt Frank. I finally got Matt Frank to do some commission stuff for me. And I know Matt for a while, man. I mean, we both sort of worked on with the Kaju Colossal Combat. Oh, Colossal Kaju Combat. Okay. And we both worked, and I do have some original Matt Frank art. Not from him. I don't think from him. But I think it was like from eBay. Some guy was selling a piece and stuff. Hey, Craig, I love Dan Ace too. This is for you, buddy. I'll show him again. It's a great piece, man. But I finally nailed him down, and he did these beautiful pieces of work this year. And I'm very, very honored to have some of his artwork. Big fan. And he did these 2 pieces right here. So there you go, folks. And that's pretty much it. And here, I'll just let anybody who might have missed, I just wrapped up drawing artwork for the Ultraman. Let's just do the whole process. This is for the Ultraman, Rise of Ultraman variant cover, blank cover. And then this is what the cover looks inside by Alex Ross. And then this is some artwork. Sure, really pretty good. Yeah, Marvel did a great job. I gotta say, I really love this artwork. It's really nice, Colors are on point. They're not skimping. Look at that. Panels aren't being skimped or anything. Energy. I don't want to show too much because I want you can go out there and purchase it. But anyway, this is pretty much, I just wrapped up this piece, and I may consider this part 1, and then what I'll do is let me do some thinking, and then I'll do some concepting, and I'll see how I can expand on the story so that it's kind of like we get like this beginning and then get the flow and then we get the end. Because technically this is the end. So literally I just did the end of the battle. And again, what I did was I did a little search, and I found out that the original Ultraman actor technically used judo as a martial arts, because he was known that was what he's skilled in. And so I used this as a body toss. He does a body toss on Jiras, Jira, and then he just it just ends. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone again for coming by and enjoying my draw stream on Facebook Live, and I'm going to save this and then put it up on my YouTube channel, and then I'll post some links afterwards and whatever. And also I'm going to be on the YouTube channel tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, talking to Lucifer Storm. How you like that name? Lucifer Storm. And chatting up, hopefully, about more art, more kajus, and all that fun stuff. And hey, man, give me a little while, and I'll be right back at this, and we'll do another Facebook Live, and it'll be a completion one on this side once I try to figure out what's over here. All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy your Halloween. Take care. Stay healthy. And keep the art flowing. Peace.